Top 10 rated movies on Amazon Prime. As Netflix pours more of its resources into original content, Amazon Prime Video is picking up the slack, adding more movies for its subscribers each month. Its catalog has grown so impressive, in fact, that it's a bit overwhelming. Hey guys, welcome to your entertainment channel, Netflix Top, where we tell you about the top-rated movies and series on Netflix. So grab your popcorn and stay with us until the end of this video, because today's video is going to list down the top 10 best movies to watch on Amazon Prime. So let's get started. Number 10, Lucy and Desi. Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz are comedy legends. That's pretty much an undeniable fact. What most people don't know about I Love Lucy stars is how they actually began their iconic partnership. And that's what Lucy and Desi is all about. This Amy Poehler-directed documentary film provides a behind-the-scenes look at how these two stars first formed their unlikely partnership and how they went on to become one of the most admired power couples of their time. Ball and Arnaz are also the subjects of another entry on this list, but for a more thorough and non-fictionalized take on their lives, this film is your best bet. Number 9. Being the Ricardos. A must-watch for viewers who want to be in the know on this year's award race. Being the Ricardos stars Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem as comedy icons Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz during the production of their sitcom classic I Love Lucy. Rattled by potentially career-ending reports, threatened with cancellation, and up against the clock to produce the week's new episode, the couple also finds their marriage under strain. The West Wing and the Newsroom creator Aaron Sorkin explores similar fascinations with the exceptional, quick-witted folks under fire in his signature rat-a-tat dialogue-driven way, naturally. It's a fascinating look into a little-known moment in Hollywood history, filled with game performances, and if you're generally a fan of Sorkin's storytelling instincts, you'll likely find lots to like here. Number 8. Sound of Metal. Don't sleep on Sound of Metal. The touching drama might just be one of the best movies of 2020. Starring Riz Ahmed as a metal drummer who rapidly loses his hearing and has to relearn how to live his life. The film originally debuted at the Toronto International Film Festival in 2019 and was poised for a splashier summer release before the pandemic turned the film industry upside down. The film's arrival on Amazon feels a lot quieter than it should, because it's a beautiful and phenomenally well-acted story about empathy and rebirth, with yet another outstanding performance by the always reliable Ahmed. He's well matched by Olivia Cook as his girlfriend and bandmate, as well as Paul Rassi as a man who runs a community for deaf-recovering addicts in one of the most memorable supporting performances of the year. Sound of Metal is a slow, steady, and compelling portrait of addiction, the sneaky and insidious tolls you pay for its false relief, and why it's worth the much more obvious tolls you have to pay to take back your life. And it's a striking glimpse at human grace, reminding us that just because challenging, even devastating new circumstances can alter the texture of our lives forever, that doesn't diminish the beauty those lives can have. Number 7. I Want You Back. Weirdly enough, the plot to this Valentine's Day movie sounds a lot like a gripping psychological thriller. Peter, Charlie Day, and Emma, Jenny Slate, are total strangers who are brought together by one thing. They were both dumped out of the blue by their respective partners Anne, Gina Rodriguez, and Noah, Scott Eastwood. Their exes move on to new romances, but Peter and Emma conspire to win them back. How do you ask? Emma plans on seducing Anne's new boyfriend, and Peter decides he will befriend Noah and convince him to go back to Emma. What follows is a rollercoaster of love-fueled insanity, the likes of which you've only seen in hilarious rom-coms like this one. It's a fun movie with an engaging plot that manages to subvert some of the cliches of the genre while delivering exactly what you want from a Valentine's movie. Number 6. No Time to Die. No Time to Die is neither the best nor the worst Daniel Craig Bond movie, but it does mark his final appearance as the character, which makes it significant. It's a lengthy, stylish, occasionally inexplicable film that picks up after Bond has left active service with MI6 and is just trying to enjoy living a quiet life as a normal, extraordinarily handsome man. But you can't make a Bond movie about that, so it's all very quickly disrupted when the CIA recruits him to hunt down a mysterious and dangerous villain. Number 5. Emergency. This Amazon film will likely get lost in the noise of the high-profile releases, but do not let it slip by if you're a fan of party comedies. The indie film follows a pair of young black college seniors, RJ Kyler and Donald Ellis Watkins, ready to let loose in a string of parties before spring break, when they discover an unconscious white girl in their apartment, with no idea how she got there. Realizing the bad optics of the situation, they and their Latino roommate set out to return her to safety without their good intentions being misinterpreted. The movie got great reviews when it did the festival circuit earlier this year. Number 4. The Tender Bar. A coming-of-age tale as old as time, George Clooney's latest directional effort, The Tender Barb, is a quiet, cozy drama filled with winning performances that keep the film afloat, even as it treads dreadfully familiar waters. Adapted from J.R. Moringer's memoir of the same name, the film follows J.R.'s, Ty Sheridan's, evolving relationship with the alcoholic uncle he idolizes, Ben Affleck, through childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. Affleck in particular shines here in an understated, magnetic piece of acting that opens up his A-list charisma on full blast. Number 3. The Big Sick. Kumail Nanjiani and Emily Gordon's real-life love story serves as inspiration for the most delightful romantic comedy in years in The Big Sick. Directed by Michael Showalter. From a script by Nanjiani and Gordon, the film stars Nanjiani as himself and Zoe Kazan as Emily in the stranger-than-fiction story of two people falling in love despite clashing cultures, family expectations, and a mysterious life-threatening illness. The story follows a stand-up comic, Nanjiani, who falls for a woman who heckles him, Kazan, at a show. He tries to hide the relationship from his parents, who expect a strictly traditional arranged marriage to a Muslim woman. But the romance faces an even greater hurdle when she falls into an inexplicable coma and he bonds with her parents, who you can't help but fall in love with thanks to the performances from Ray Romano and Holly Hunter. Bursting with heart and earnest good nature, The Big Sick is a witty and charming exploration of love, commitment, and family. And it's a bona fide crowd pleaser to boot. Number 2. One Night in Miami. Regina King makes a commanding directorial debut with One Night in Miami, an understated historical drama set during a meeting of extraordinary minds when Malcolm X, Kingsley Ben-Adir, Muhammad Ali, then Cassius Clay, Ellie Gorey, Sam Cooke, Leslie Odom Jr., and Jim Brown, Aldous Hodge, spent a night in a quiet Florida hotel room. Based on Kemp Powers' play of the same name, King's film digs deep into an imagined discourse spun from those historical events, a celebration of young black men who carved a space in all avenues of public life during the civil rights movement, and an intellectual investigation into their individual methods of activism. The performances are stunners, especially from Ben-Adir and Odom, whose conflicting approaches to their shared ideologies make for the film's most moving dramatic heights. And King, who would know a thing or two about great performances, just directs the hell out of all of it. Number 1. Vivarium. If you like Twilight Zone-inspired tales of horror and existential dread, boy does Amazon have the right horror movie streaming for you this month. Lorcan Finnegan's Vivarium is a dark as hell and walloping bummer, but it's a very good bad time. Imogen Poots and Jesse Eisenberg star as a couple on the hunt for their first home and wind up trapped in a surreal suburban neighborhood from which there's no escape. No matter how many streets they drive through, how many fences they hop, they just can't get out. Then the nightmare baby shows up. On the surface, Vivarium is an effective portrait of the horrors of getting trapped in a white picket fence life you never wanted. But the scarier, much more effective undercurrent comes from the way the film embraces the cruel indifference of nature's life cycles and the helplessness of being stuck in them. And this brings us to the end of the video. What are your thoughts on today's video? Share with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for amazing movie reviews coming your way. And thank you for watching.